No one has ever been in this kind of turbulence before. But for you to make sense of the future, for you to understand your terrain and your weather and your environment around you, you need to think about yourself differently. And I'm saying, be a catalyst. Number 5, facilitate incessant improvements within the innovation process, which you might have at home. There are things you are trying to stop doing. There are things you are trying to increase. There are things that you are trying to stop. But there are also things you are trying to accelerate. Be a mad scientist. Number 3, experiment in creative ways and take calculated risks to explore the what if. What if? And Ugandans, we like to be optimistic. Many people have already telling me, 42 days we are waiting. This man, by 42 days, he must lift this lockdown. Supposing he doesn't. Last year, I remember people used to say, the country can't move forward. They can't have the lockdown for more than 2 weeks. We were in lockdown for more than 3 months or 4. I am not saying have a pessimism bias or optimism, but I want you to look at the future real hard. And look what is like your health likely to be. That you reached age 50. That's when your body becomes a battleground for non-communicable diseases. At age 50 and above, your body becomes a battleground for diabetes, for gout, hypertension, blood pressure, and so each of these diseases are in competition on who brings you down first. That means the medical bills will definitely go up, like the NSSF talked about. So the issue again now for you as spouses, as friends, is to have a club where you can audit yourself again, reimagine the future, reset the future. There is no harm. We said that every sinner has a future and every saint had a past. There is your Damascus somewhere, just like Paul. There is a Damascus. There is a way out of this. And exactly this is what the World Economic Forum chief is saying, that we need to step back a bit. Means step back a little. Reimagine, step back a little before you take the leap. Think about things, review the lessons of the past, look at the knowledge of the present, and also the insights of the future that come through conversations around where is money going to flow in Uganda going forward? What are the new skills that are now required? How relevant can I be? And so on. Again, as we move on, if your dream job does not exactly exist, you create it. And on your income, yes, for those of you who have big houses and so on, but also there's something more, is that some of us have got scattered assets. And most of them are dead assets, actually. You have got a small plot in Seta, you have got another plot in Mukono, then you have got some cows in Maogola, then you have got a banana plantation in Luero, and some rentals in Najanankumbi, and so these are very scattered. We have got traffic jam, we have got all these things. Well, how do you look after them? And some people decided to create what they call an index fund. You know, they create an index fund, they sell everything, all those assets, and they get all their money and put it in a pot of gold and put it under an index fund, and they get some income every month from that pot of gold. Enough money, we call it liquidity number, enough money to live on without running to, for instance, look at your children. Will they go to Luero to look at the banana plantation? Will they be going to Maogola to check on your piggery or cows? And then you have rentals in Mukono and you have a small plot in Najanankumbi and stuff. No. Make sure you have your seed capital investment. Okay, point of reflection as we go into the challenges. Look at yourself again. Take a second look at yourself. What is your faith system? Faith system means here that do you believe in the future? Do you believe you are going to live on? That's your faith system. Do you believe in God, first of all? Now, if you don't believe in God and you believe, say, in witchcraft and all those things, now that's an area I don't know well. But if you believe in God, then you know God created you for a purpose and you are going to have to do something. For those of you who have children, God just lent you these children. They are assets that belong to God, and God is going to hold you to account. What happened to these children? You're going to take those children to schools which they are not supposed to go to because you are reckless. You did not plan for them. So that your faith on a scale of 0 to 10, where are you? Now, in terms of your family, how often do you talk with your spouse on issues to do with alternative income earning, alternative income streams? How often do you talk to your spouse regarding the way you are spending money, how you are dividing the wants from the needs and also from your savings? How often in a week do you talk to your spouse about debt management, about investment? What conversation do you have with your family? As I mentioned to you, the standard time is 6 hours a week, but now because we are in COVID, the hours go up to about 8 or 9. What about friends? What kind of friends do you have? I like this group myself. If you see that word angels, each one of you in this group has capital. He has capital to bring. A stands for asset capital. Some of you have intellectual assets. Some of you have got material assets, which you can bring into this group. N means networks, network capital. Some of you are very well connected and powerfully resourced. You can bring this into the group. G is genius. Some of you in this group have got creative genius. You can imagine and create new things. E stands for experience and expertise. Experience, expertise, education. L stands for light. Some of you are coaches. You see light at the end of the tunnel. You see things working well. You are apostles of hope and faith in the future. And then S means serenity, destiny, capital. Some of you are coaches, you are counselors and mentors and so on. So this is the composition of your group. What capital do you bring to this group? If you have got friends who don't have this capitalization, you are undercapitalizing your future with people you are not supposed to be with. Then let's look at the finances. The finances, I'm going to be talking about them later. But remember one small rule, that you need to take this formula. 1/10 of your annual income gross times 12% times your current age. That is the kind of asset value that you need for retirement. I also mentioned the 80% rule, that you must be able to generate 80% of your monthly income now. If you are working in MTN, 80% of your salary, you must be able to generate it from some other alternative sources. Get used to that. Fun, how many times do you laugh a day? An adult like Emon should be able to laugh at least 16 times a day to avoid high blood pressure and all those things. How much fun do you have? Fitness, 200 minutes in the gym every week. Food, you must eat food that builds your body. In other words, you must know your blood type. Food heals, food harms. And of course, the small family business, which generates the other 80%. Now, let's look at your, especially from a point of view of your workplace and so on. Again, on a scale of 0 to 10, how do you rate the support you get from your boss, the support you get from your direct reports? But more importantly, for me, the time I used to work, support from external stakeholders. How much support do you get from people outside? Because these are the guys building your networks and also providing options and the possibilities for your easy retirement. Then information and knowledge acquisition and sharing. How many books do you read a day or a week? We're going to be sharing this. How many apps do you have on your phone? And how many books, you don't read, but you can listen. How many audio books do you listen to? How many other people do you listen to? And also, do you have a coach and a mentor? How long do you spend with this coach and mentor? Then you're again looking at yourself again as you prepare for retirement. I want to look at only one point, the capacity to adopt, improvise, and hunger to win. The capacity to go on and not giving up, and also the capacity to encourage others, and the capacity to say yes or no to certain things. Many of us are tempted to say yes to many things, and we destroy opportunities for us to grow. So the only sure option, good people, as we prepare for retirement, is entrepreneurship. We need to create something. We need to create some money. We need an alternative source of income somehow. And this is the time to start. On the day you get a job is the day you prepare retirement. That's it. You prepare to go. So you work as if you are going tomorrow. When my background is I worked in the government of Kenya, then I worked in the government of Uganda. When I was in the UN, I was seconded to the UN. I do recall the government of Uganda carried out what they called retrenchment exercise. That was a psychologically disabling word. Retrenchment, meaning somebody is completely useless. Government of Uganda had over 360,000 people. Now, they remained only 159. I remember asking the permanent secretary for Ministry of Public Service, there was a man called Martin Orech. From a staff force of 360,000, there were now 159, I think. Now, I would like to tell you on record that 38% of the people who were retired or retrenched, 38% of them passed on within the first 5 years of retirement. 38%. And 36% had no option. They did not have option because they were told they were on permanent and pensionable. They had no friends. Some of them didn't tell their wives. So many things went wrong. So a decision about retirement has to be taken now. We have to have a conversation together on what can you do, what do you need to know, and for you to have also a coach and a mentor on are you thinking straight, and maybe even your spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend. So what exactly are you deciding? What challenge are you addressing, and what solution is it, and what impact will it have? And at the end of the day, what do you want at age 55, age 65, and age 75? What you need as a family is not exactly what the other family may need. So you need to be sure about exactly what you would want to have. And then, of course, look around for options. I've already talked about this. Look at today, look at the future, look at the options, but also the actions you are going to take. Now, this man comes to mind, especially for the entrepreneur. This guy is called Elon Musk. I think one of the wealthiest guys in the world today. And again, when we talk about some of these good decisions in entrepreneurship, is remember you are creating something out of nothing. But remember, there are also people saying it can't work. It has never happened. In COVID, nobody knew COVID would be the way it is. That the duration would be like this, the magnitude would be like this. No one even knows the duration of the vaccine, the immunity, and so on. There are many things we don't know. Yeah, but it doesn't stop us from daring the future. It doesn't. I'm talking about this group that I want you to create, the investment club. But more importantly, investment club within Rotary. So you create a bigger purpose around yourself as a group. And listen to feedback. But more importantly, measure. Get feedback and reinforcement. What are the ideas? I want you to look at the two important questions a man called Jeff Bezos asks. In a crisis like this, he has only two questions he brings to the boardroom. He asks his executives two questions only. What are we missing? What is the next opportunity? When you get together and sit as a team, I would like you to put these two questions before yourselves. But let them start at home. What are we missing? What is our next opportunity? Yes, here he is, Jeff Bezos. Your competition isn't other people. Like I mentioned, your competition is you. It's you. You are the problem, you are the solution also. But remember, you are the asset. So, and that starts by questioning ourselves. Today, the world is not Mr. Know-it-all. It's Mr. Learn-it-all. And learn-it-all means and instructions. Bad habits like what? You are drinking. You are drinking. What is this whole idea of drinking? Because I was told you can't sleep well unless you drink a little. Hey, you have taken pork, and when you take pork, by all means, you have to take some UG. Those are kind of funny concepts. That I've got some money now, I can get a girlfriend. You have a wife and you're getting another girlfriend. That's inferiority complex. You probably grew up when the girls were rejecting you and so on. Now, this money which you are making now is not even for you. It's for the children and the children after you. This money is not yours. If you are earning 1 million, you know very well that only 500,000 belongs to you and your spouse. The rest of the money is going somewhere else, as we are going to see in the percentages. So these questions allow us to again reflect on ourselves a little and create some imagination. If you want to predict the future, create it by asking questions. Asking questions. Find out the cause of why don't you have enough money. Because sometimes you have probably got savings, but the savings are not invested. This is the biggest big name. It's the biggest name in the world when it comes to investment. He's called Warren Buffett, the biggest name in investment. And I guess you probably have access to some of his ideas about investment, because investment creates intergenerational wealth. When we save money, we must invest it and create wealth for the future. And now I would like us to look at your group. I called it EC, but the name can be different. When you get together as a team, and especially the fact that you can say, let's get together. I don't know, I can see about 85 people, but let me imagine you are about 60 people. And you say, guys, let's get together. We need a constitution. We need all these things. First of all, this group can be set up very easily. And then you have a president, you have a secretary, you have a treasurer, and so on. And then you say, let's bring it together. First of all, we have this constitution which says the money we must collect, say we need each one of us to contribute 2 million shillings. And 2 million shillings, some of you don't have it, but you can stagger the payments. But for you to be a bona fide member of this club, you must pay 2 million. Okay, that makes you a primary shareholder of our group. 2 million. Now you are 60. That is already 120 million. And then we say we are going to be saving about 200,000 from each member every month for the next 360 days or 36 months. For the next 36 months, each one of us must bring 200,000 every month. Remember, you already have the other 2 million, which is the primary subscription fee for this club, which gave you 120 million. Now you are contributing 200 every month. You are part of a larger group. When it comes to planning your retirement, you're already part of a bigger team. You have friends who love you, who are with you, who are going to work with you in good or bad, in happiness, in adversity. You have a sense of cohesion, focus, and dynamism among yourselves. Now, how do you create this dynamism? We have a constitution, but we also have a time. First of all, we have a purpose. We are all Rotarians around our area. Like in Nairobi, they have got developments, housing estates. They all stay near each other. So you have a purpose. We stay here together. We are Rotarians. We support God's people. We support community. Okay? We work around community, but we are also connected to other Rotary clubs. So good, but then we have got also something about our future, retirement. We have got an investment purpose. We want to make sure that all our children in this estate, they go to good schools and good universities, or they get better skills. We also want to make sure that they marry properly. Money marries into money to create intergenerational wealth. We also have our children growing up with good manners, proper etiquette, and so on. So we every month, we have a talk like the one you are having now. There is a bigger purpose. The investment is not only about money. Now, time horizon for collecting the money, but also the return objective. What are your objectives in terms of the money you are collecting? There are some of you who would want to say, no, me, I don't want to keep running in Mulago with his wife. The professor wanted to retire, but she wanted to still do some little work. The wife had retired. They had the total retirement package they had was 1 billion. They had about 6 children, all of them grown up. So the professor asks me, what do we do? I said, I would like to talk to you and your spouse and the children. So I told the children, your parents are getting this 1 billion. And I've asked them to sell their farm in Mbarara. I've also asked them to sell the house in Entebbe. The children said, what is going on, PK? How can you tell that to our parents? I said, look here, These things are not even for you. They are for grandchildren and the grandchildren after them. These people now would want to settle in Bugolobi and enjoy their life. So the 1 billion plus all these other things and so on is probably going to give them approximately 3 billion, which is coming close to $1 million. And I'm advising them to put all this money in an index fund. And this index fund is going to give them 5 million shillings every month for as long as they live. The 5 million is the liquidity number they need to pay their bills, to pay fuel, to change their vehicles, to enjoy their lives with or without you. Now, when they pass on, this money, the 5 million they have been earning every month, will come to you. But you are not supposed to touch the other 3 billion, which is growing also in the index fund. So this takes care of liquidity. How much money do you need every month, with or without working and support from anybody? At this stage of preparing for retirement, you must know your liquidity number. Some of you have a liquidity number which is 10 million. Some of you is 500,000. Some of you is 2 million. Now we need to determine that, with or without a job, with or without support from children, what is our liquidity number? But also, what are the taxes, fees, and costs on our investment portfolio? The target asset allocation, most of these things you're familiar with them. And we need to keep rebalancing because of COVID, rebalancing our asset portfolio every 1 month, and also reviewing and working on the family strategy. So this is what I'm talking about, pot of gold. The professor and his wife, this was their pot of gold, 3 billion. I told the children, you don't have access to it, because this pot of gold is supposed to produce the liquidity number. The professor and his wife, they need just about 5 million. In fact, the professor said even 3 million is enough, because we are buying newspapers, we are changing our laptops, we are on our own, we have a smaller house. I told them, if you had a bigger house, I would have told you to sell it and get into a smaller place. Whom are you impressing at this stage? So that you look at each other more. You know, you enjoy, you stay together. When you pass on, this liquidity number will move to your children, but the pot of gold will never change. It will stay there. Now, and this is a realization, of course, all of us have, that we will grow old, aging slowly. The moment you, like especially the young men or men who are in this forum now, I especially the men, the fellow men, I want to tell you that when you reach age 42, age 43, please, you have started growing old. And please, if you are thinking of dating new girls and all that kind of rubbish, don't waste your time. Any man who reaches age 43, 44 has no claim at all to handsomeness. So if a young girl tells you you're handsome and so on at age 44, 45, you better know that he's probably your pocket, which is handsome. No, your money belongs to your family. And this money is not even yours in this generation. It's going to move on. Why? It's the law of nature and the will of God that definitely this time is coming. Age 35, your bone mass is beginning to go downhill. And remember, even at age 18, some of the material in the skin is beginning to decline. Age 65, heart disease, and so on. Look at the kidneys at age 50, and also your ears, your brain, and so on. By age 40, your eyesight. And people are telling you that you are handsome and wonderful at age 40. They are probably cheating you, really. So he who wants to keep warm in old age must build a fireplace in his youth. That definitely, that's. And again, please know yourself. This is where we have started, but also know your enemy, your bad habits, and some of the men who hide their accounts, and even spouses. Make sure that you really talk about money every week for 9 hours now. And also know the business environment, know the markets, but also understand the legal and regulatory frameworks that will govern your investments and the work that you are doing around your family. If you don't, there is this roller coaster that old age will come, and you don't believe you have reached old age and you want to go and continue working, and you already have back problems, you have got gout, you have got all these things, you live in denial. Those civil servants lived in denial. And when they lived in denial, instead of walking across to recovery, Instead, they became angry with the government. They became angry with everybody. They went into bargaining. That is desperation. And most of them ended up in depression. Depression is excessive pressure beyond your capacity to cope. And most of them stayed there. They died there. By grace of God, some accepted reality and recovered. But you don't want this kind of emotional and psychological roller coaster. Areas to focus on as we prepare for retirement is the family business, which is generating income outside any other source. But for you, it could be a family business. It could be an investment pot of gold. The kind of food you are eating, I've already gone through this fun, having fun, laughing. At least when you are in old age, you should laugh between 10 to 15 times a day. You should have something to make you laugh. And friends, the only group of people I consider very, very reliable and solid is Rotary. That's where the real friends are. They're not the friends who are what you call weather vane or friends who are opportunistic and change as we job scale. So what are the things that we are going to look for, solutions we need to do to prepare for retirement? Well, overconfidence, don't imagine, don't make too many assumptions, optimism bias, or my children will look after me. No, I have got this land which is somewhere. No, that will be, I'll beat inflation. The replacement income will come. And so don't make too many positive assumptions. You need your spouse. You need an advisor to challenge your assumptions. Peer pressure. You have got your own blueprint. You have got your own life blueprint. Follow your life blueprint. You're not like everybody. And then there's investing in liabilities, vehicles, and so on, and luxuries. Again, because you're in competition with other people and so on. Please look at your blueprint. Believing that you can save your way into wealth. No, you need to invest. Cultural blackmail. It's very good that we have got COVID now and lockdown. I think functions and ceremonies are changing. In my family, in my clan, we changed much earlier. That we reduce the number of people coming for introduction ceremonies. Buganda is one big culprit for this cultural blackmail. They have introduction ceremonies. People are lining up vehicles, 100 vehicles, and the guests are 400 of them, and there's so much money spent. Then you ask, is the bridegroom, do they have land and a house? He said no. Do they have any savings and index fund? No. In my clan, in my place where I come from, when you come for an introduction ceremony, people must be not more than 7. This was about 10 years ago. This is what we are doing. And when you come, we are going to ask business and investment questions about the future. We need to look at the financial literacy. I think that's high burden debt burden ratio. Make sure that from your income, you're not servicing debt beyond the 40%. 40% of your income, you are not servicing debt. And also past demons. Past demons is inferiority complex. It's also what you call intergenerational curses. Believing that because your father died poor, you'll also die poor. Believing that, there are some convictions people have. You must take red wine in order to live well. You must be this and that. No, past demons. Inferiority complex. To believe that you must have more than one spouse to prove that you are a man. That's hopeless. Or even to believe that because you are a man, you are more intelligent than a woman. Again, those are like demons. So the rules. Number one, 10% formula. If you are earning 1 million, 50% is not yours. Because 10% is going for tithe, 10% is going to your savings scheme, 10